Hey my friends, welcome to Mountain Woman Radio. I am your host, Tammy Trayer, and today is episode number 250. You can find that by going to mountainwomanradio.com/podcast-250. And today we are going to talk about how to overcome overwhelm. I think that is so important right now. I just experienced 3 really unusual weeks. For those of you that follow me, you know that I'm a Christian. You know that I put God first, and I let my light shine wherever I can, how I can. I really want to be a beacon in these unusual times. And as a result of that, I also believe that I open myself up to spiritual attacks. And I have struggles with EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies. So everything I do revolves around me being on a machine, a laptop, an iPad, an iPhone. I'm recording from my iPhone, So I'm constantly in front of machinery, and I do detox from my machinery. However, I truly believe that our machines cause great levels of confusion and overwhelm. For one reason, it's because we have so many options on our machines, so many apps downloaded, so many things to do, so many people to check in with, so many social media accounts to check, that it puts us in a place of overwhelm. But EMFs alone can do that. And I was really battling that. Just seemed like things were really amped up. And I think it was a combination of things being amped up on our machinery as well as, a spiritual attack. And I believe that there's a lot of us walking around right now feeling disheveled, overwhelmed, lost, uncertain of which direction to go in. And it's, rightfully so. Our world is upside down, sideways, and confused. You hear me say that all the time, because we see it on a regular basis. But we don't have to live out of that space. And, I know for myself firsthand that the thing I need to do when I'm feeling overwhelmed is I need to pause. I need to walk away from things. I need to get outside. I need to spend time with God. And I really need to regroup. So that's my first suggestion to you all, is to pause and to spend time with God. The second one is to pull away from your devices. And I know I've said this over the last couple weeks, detox from your machinery. I'm going to keep emphasizing that because I'm sensitive to these machines and to all of the EMFs in the city and the cell towers. I feel things, and I know that everybody else is also receiving the same radiation that I am, but they're not as in tune to it as I am. So please, take breaks from your machinery and make sure your kids are doing the same thing. Our machines are there to make us smart and make things convenient, but I do believe they also can have a tendency to make us really dumb. And that's because we get so overwhelmed that we don't even know what to do with ourselves. It's so much easier to just dumb down and scroll senselessly than to concentrate on things. So those are two very important things. 3, if you're overwhelmed, it's very easy right now to be overwhelmed in your preparedness efforts, in your finances, and having things in order because it's looking like things are going to fall apart, right? I think we're all feeling a weightiness. And again, like I said, rightfully so. But we don't need to stay in that headspace. And much of what's happening is out of our control. So I learned many, many years ago that when things are out of my control, I no longer waste my time on those things. And I just spin on a dime and I go do something else. And we need to learn to do that so often. And I believe right now, so much more so than ever, people are worrying about things that we can't control. And if something happens, something happens. We need to be prepared for whatever that something is. We can't sit around wasting time worrying about it, or being fearful, or allowing it to consume us, or allowing it to place us in a place of depression, or allowing it to keep us in a really unhealthy state of mind. I know I've said this over the last couple weeks too. We have so much control over what happens to ourselves, our bodies, our minds, within our four walls. And we need to be able to enjoy life while still walking out this unusual time. And I see so many people in that place of despair, worry, and I want to challenge you guys to be focused. I want to help you to overcome the overwhelm. And again, part of that is walking away from all this stuff that's pulling us away and maybe giving us some kind of a weird form of comfort. Our phones and social media may be a comfort rather than addressing things that you need to address in your life. Or maybe you don't have the funding to prepare any more than you already are. Okay? Well, that's something that you can't control any more than you already have, right? So don't waste your time thinking about it. And don't let it consume you. And don't feel like you need to be comforted in some way and zone out. Focus on the good things in your life. Focus on what you want to achieve. We can do so much right where we're at. And we need to remember also that, if we don't have the funds to do things any differently than we currently have, we have to trust. This is the thing. Faith, not fear. We need to trust that God will provide for our needs. And I've shared this many times on Mountain Woman Radio, but maybe there's somebody here today that's new. During my healing journey, I had life-saving surgery in 2016. We didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. And we went for 6.5 months without an income because my husband was taking care of me. And we never went without. We always had everything we needed, including money to pay the bills. It divinely showed itself. But that didn't happen because we were sitting in a place of fear and worry. It happened because we totally trusted Him. I totally resigned to Him on that couch 8 years ago when I was flat on my back for a year. I resigned to Him and put my full trust in Him. And I don't experience fear and worry anymore. And it is a blessed place. And I intentionally keep myself in that place. I don't have to work at it anymore, but it was an intentional thing, because I realized how much of my life was wasted worrying about things that I couldn't control. And right now, that does tend to be a situation for many people, is being worried about things that they can't control. What we need to do to overcome the overwhelm is sit down with a piece of paper and a pencil and write down all the things you want to accomplish. Right now is a great time to be planting your garden. Right now is a great time to be tearing up your last year's garden and getting it ready. We've had such unusual weather. Today I am celebrating it is sunny. It is beautiful, beautiful and sunny. It was sunny yesterday too. We've had days and days of rain. So I'm celebrating that sunshine. Get yourself out of that place of overwhelm by keeping yourself occupied with things that nurture you. Learn how to identify herbals in your backyard. Get out your books. And if you don't have books, maybe that's something you want to look into. Having a really good library is a really vital tool in life, that we have it to fall back on. If you think where we came from, many people were learning from encyclopedias. Now we have the internet at our fingertips, and it causes us to be distracted instead of focusing on the things that we can be learning from it. And I want to encourage you to learn as much as you can. That has been something we've been preaching for years and years, is to learn as much as you can. Those skills will not be wasted. Even if you don't put them into action right away, you have them in your arsenal. But overwhelm happens, and I see it more and more. When I walk away from all of my equipment and I get outside, or I do something, like I just shared with you guys my painting. When I do those things, I start to regain clarity. That brain fog lifts. Is it a surprise? No, it's not to me. This might be a new thought process for some of you, but our phones and our equipment are brain drains. And, I enjoy sitting down with a piece of paper and a pencil and starting to write things out. You can make lists. You can do mind mapping, where you have plans to get this done, and when this is done, then this can get done. And use your time wisely. Use your brain. Challenge your brain. I've been playing a new card game with my mountain boy, who is 27. He really is a mountain man, but mountain man's already taken. So, but he's been using this game called Spot It for his eye therapy. It's challenging his brain. It's doing some brain retraining. So it's a memory game. We've been playing that. It's a great game. If you have kids, I highly encourage you to check it out. mountainwomanradio.com/spot it. SPOTIT. Spot It. Good game. That's been challenging my brain. It's been making me laugh. It's been very enjoyable. Do new things. Challenge your brain. Learn new things. Don't put limitations on yourself. If you're overwhelmed by finances, sit down and map it out. Write it down. Review what you've got. Figure things out. Come up with a plan. Same with your preparedness. If you feel like you're short on things and you need to get things, inventory what you have if you haven't already. That's really important. Inventory what you have. Make a list of what you need to get. Iron it out as you can. Work it out. Get some things here, some things there. Make these lists. These lists are important. And when you get this stuff out of your head and off of all the different devices, I think that when we put pen to paper, things just get so much clearer. It does for me. And then you can put it back on your device if it's easier to store it there. But write it out. And don't sweat the small stuff. And don't get lost worrying about things we can't control. Create the goodness in your life. We've been talking about all these good things, but I know many people right now are very, very overwhelmed, feeling the weights of the world, feeling the concerns of the year ahead. And it's an unclear picture. We don't know what's ahead. But you know what? 5 years ago, we didn't know what was ahead either. We still got to keep living. And that's the important thing, is so often when we get to these places of overwhelm, we don't keep living. We just keep existing. And there's a difference. Existing, you're just muddling through and you're not improving. You're still staying in that place and you're wasting precious days, hours, seconds of your life. Live your life. Go out for a bike ride with your kids. Go climb a mountain. Go for a hike. Go fish. Go to a park. Sing a song. Whatever it is that nurtures you, do something though. Don't stay stagnant. I'm seeing so many, and you know, I was struggling for these last 3 weeks, and struggling in that I was not well. I felt like somebody was playing ping pong between my ears because these electronics were bugging me that much. There was that much of a sensitivity to them. And in walking away and stepping away from them for a week, I'm feeling much better. But even in that time, you know, it really makes me realize the importance of honing in and getting clear on where we want to go, what we want to do, what we want to achieve, what we want to accomplish. And as we progressively do that, it lifts the overwhelm. And the thing is, a lot of times people are overwhelmed because they are trying to do way too much. If your to-do list is 3 miles long and you think you're going to get it done in one day, you're not going to do that. So what you need to do is start getting really laser focused on what you want to accomplish, what's most important, and working on that first, and then progressing once that's finished. Find good things to occupy your time. How you spend your time dictates a lot of where you're at and how you feel and how you think. The people you spend your time with, the groups you spend your time in, the environments you spend your time in. Let's just sum it up that way. Find good people to occupy your time. Find good people that nurture you. But don't allow yourself to stay in this space real long. I am going to mention something that's very helpful if you are struggling with overwhelm and anxieties and fears and worries, and just in that disheveled state. Can't get out of it. You've been trying, spent time with God, you're praying, you're still just feeling so off. You can go to my faith-led healing website and sign up for my newsletter, and you will receive a 15-minute mini breathwork session for anxiety. It is a great tool. faithledhealing.com/newsletter. I know I've mentioned this before. The other thing you can do is get on my calendar. I do group sessions every week, Mondays and Wednesdays, and it is a really good renewing tool. I just had the pleasure of being on Kristen Blake Wellness's community, sharing breath work with her. And it is just so amazing to watch the transformation of those in front of me. You know, sometimes we can do things ourselves. Sometimes we need to accept some help. And, you know, if you have prayer requests, you need prayers, you can reach out to me anytime. podcast@mountainwomanradio.com. And as I say that today, I'm going to ask you to join me in prayer. We have some dear friends. If you've been following Mountain Woman Radio for a long time and you've been following us on Trayer Wilderness, you've heard me mention these people's names before, and I would like to ask that you please keep them in prayer with me and help me rally God's wings around them, his loving arms of healing and peace and comfort, discernment and direction for our dear friends George and Gudrun. Gudrun is in the hospital and has not been doing well, and I would just like to ask that you please wrap your arms around her in prayer, and also George for comfort and peace, and just support them. And I appreciate that because I know many of you are prayer warriors just like I am, and I thank you in advance for lifting them in prayer. The more people we have praying for them, the better. And the same applies to you. So often we are afraid to ask people to pray for us or to share with people that we are struggling. You know, it is a courageous warrior that asks for help. That's how I look at it. It takes courage to do that. So don't be afraid to ask for help. And the breathwork sessions are very renewing and I think a really vital tool in our world today to help us learn how to combat the weightiness that we're feeling. So you can go and get subscribe to my newsletter and get the free MP3 download and just use that. That will help you greatly, or you're welcome to join me. The group sessions are very private. You'll get on, and on the Zoom, you'll only see me, you'll only hear me. There'll be other people in the chat. It's an hour-long session. It's wonderful. You will feel like a new you on the other side, and they're inexpensive. I keep them inexpensive for a reason. This is a tool that everybody needs to have, and I hate to see people in a place of despair, weightiness, overwhelm, when they don't need to be. But I get it. I get it. When I experienced fear and worry and anxiety, I was right there with you. Now I know how to combat that. I pull into God. I recruit my prayer warriors when I can't reach my bootstraps. It happens sometimes. I'm human. I'll be the first to tell you that. But I have amazing people that surround me. And there's a reason for that. I prayed for them and they came. And they are amazing people that surround me in my community. And it is a vital, vital tool to have the right people surrounding you. And when you don't have them, to know that you have someone else you can call on. And I'm making myself accessible to you because our world is crazy and I see too many hurting people. And I want to challenge you today to slow things down. Slow them down. And we've talked about the pause. We've talked about slowing things down, both here and on my Faith-Led Healing podcast. We need to combat the overwhelm. And that may mean removing things, taking a break from all things and just regrouping yourself, or, evaluating what's important. We've talked about all these things. But the key thing is to acknowledge that you are in a place of overwhelm and start to make some changes so that you're not in that place. It's not a healthy place to be. And regardless what's going on in life, no matter how upside down things get, I will still make it a point to find goodness in my days. And that can look so different every day. There's a lot of things I love doing, and I make it a point to do them. And I make it a point to not allow myself to be brought down. I really check in. So here's another tool for you. Check in as often as you need to with yourself daily. I check in the morning. I check in at lunch. I check in at dinner time. I check in. And if I'm feeling pressures of any kind, I check in more often. But I check in. If I'm feeling off, I do something about it. I'll breathe for 15 minutes. I'll go for a walk. I'll sit in the sunshine. I'll talk to my dog. I'll talk to my family. Whatever we need to do. But please be aware. Please be in tune with yourself. Don't let yourself get to a low place. Get yourself out of the place of overwhelm. And for many, I believe that's just paying attention to what you're thinking, not wasting time on things we can't control, and lightening the load. Slow it down and lighten the load. So, those are my words for today. I am praying for each of you because I know that it is a tough walk right now for a lot of people. God is the answer. He's number one. He's where we start. So I pray over my audience. I pray over my community. I pray over my friends, my family, daily. So know that you are being lifted in prayer, but if you need specific prayers, please reach out to me. Don't stay stuck in a place of overwhelm. Check in, lighten the load, make your life what you want it to be. So have a great day. We'll see you on the next episode. Take care and God bless.